Morning, ma'am.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, we know quite a lot about you from the forms that you have submitted. We would like to know from you in 3-4 sentences, not more, 3-4 sentences about your personality, about your weaknesses and strengths.
Sir, I'm a trained graduate teacher.
Pardon?
And I am a trained graduate teacher. I teach mathematics to secondary level students.
Okay.
And my strengths include my inquisitive nature. I like to know about things a lot. I usually depend on myself. Self-study is one of my strengths, I believe. Then second, I would say I'm very much friendly to people. I get along with people very easily. And my weaknesses include can I take a minute?
Yeah, sure.
For the last 3 or 4 years, I believe I have been into preparation thing only. So I'm less social. Maybe I talk less to people, and that could be one of my weaknesses.
You're
which
not that much social.
Since I have been in preparation, so I talk less to people, and that's why I would
you
say
are
so.
friendly.
To my friend circle only,
Okay.
not to everyone in general.
Okay. Right. You come from Gopalganj.
So
What is permanent address is Shahdara. Why is it named Shahdara, Aniket?
yes, sir, Shahadra is named probably because it was named after Shahid Darya, after Yamuna river maybe. The exact origin is not confirmed, but it is probably believed that it was named after Yamuna river, which was then known as Shahid Darya or Shah Darwaza.
And some people say that it was related to Dara. There was a palace of Dara Shikoh.
I'm not sure about that, sir, but it was also
Who
known
was
as
Dara Shikoh?
Dara Shikoh was the son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, an elder brother of Aurangzeb.
How many sons Shah Jahan had?
I'm sorry,
Any
sir.
idea?
I have no idea.
Dara,
Aurangzeb.
Shuja, and then Aurangzeb and Murad.
Thank you, sir.
Right? Please. Then Aniket, your father is also, your parents are also teachers
Yes, sir.
in Bihar and Gopalganj. What is Gopalganj known for?
Gopalganj is basically known for 2 things, I believe. First, it has given 3 chief ministers to Bihar, namely Abdul Ghafoor, the 13th chief minister of Bihar. Then, of course, Mr. Lalu Yadav and Srimati Rabri Devi, the first women chief minister of Bihar. And second thing, sir, it is a very rich and fertile area and known for its
Any historical importance?
historical. If I talk about post-independence India, then Ram Dulari Sinha was the first woman to get the graduation degree in entire Bihar, and she was also the ex-governor of Kerala state from 1988 to 1990.
So your parents are in Gopalganj.
Yes, sir.
This was a little intriguing. I mean, you come from Gopalganj and for higher education you went all the way to Ajmer,
Yes, sir.
crossing the entire UP and half of Rajasthan.
Yes, sir. That is basically because NCERT conducts an all India examination.
Okay.
It is known as RIECEE, Common Entrance Examination, which is conducted on all India basis. And based on that, I was ranked second in Delhi state. And based on that, I was allocated RI Ajmer.
What were your? Why do you think you have made 4 attempts to CS mains, and how much was your mark? How many marks did you obtain last year?
Last year, I got 727 marks in written.
720. So this time we hope that you have done better, because you have come up to this point, so that itself shows. Singing ghazals. What type of ghazals do you sing?
My favorite is the ghazals of Jagjit Singh. I am very much fond of his ghazals.
Which ghazals of Jagjit Singh? Jagjit Singh also had some favorite shayars whose ghazals he sang.
One ghazal which is very close to my heart is about childhood and all. ये दौलत भी ले लो, ये शोहरत भी ले लो, भले छीन लो मुझसे मेरी
Who have
जवानी.
written that?
I have no idea, sir.
Javed Akhtar.
Oh, thank you, sir. Javed Akhtar.
And Jagjit Singh has sung beautiful ghazals by Ghalib.
Sir, I'm not very much aware about the writers.
In Mirza Ghalib film, all the ghazals of Mirza Ghalib, they are sung by Jagjit. Have you seen that film?
No, sir.
See that.
Okay, sir.
That's
Sure.
a classical. Cooking vegetarian foods.
Sir.
Now, what type of vegetarian foods you cook?
Sir, I'm not that much into cooking. I'm an occasional cook, and
Are you married?
no, sir.
That's why there you might be cooking in.
Yes, sir. Initially when I moved to Delhi, I started cooking, but after that, I usually cook sometimes when there's.
And one more thing which I forgot with ghazals. I mean, generally, in the prime youth like yours, boys tend to like ghazals because they have girlfriends to impress, or because they are in romantic relationship. Have you been to such? Have you been into one such relationship?
Relationship? Yes, sir. I am, of course, in a relationship.
Good. Yes. Last, cooking. You know how to make sabji,
Yes, sir.
how to make dal,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know how to make aloo ki chaat with chutney,
No, sir.
right? In all these three, tell me one common ingredient which is must and without which this thing could not be made.
I believe salt.
Good, right. Now my last question is just on, you know what is NBT?
NBT. No, sir. I'll have to read about it. It's one of the newspapers, I believe. Now Bharat Times.
CTBT?
CTBT. Maybe I'm not recalling right now. sir.
Nuclear, these are nuclear,
Comprehensive. Yes, sir. I know
nuclear
about that.
banned treaties.
Yes, sir.
MTCR, no?
MTCR is a missile tech control regime.
Yes. Good. And now, last thing. Yesterday, after Pakistan's retaliation in Iran, there was a development between the two countries. What was that?
I beg your pardon, sir, but I'm not very much into that news.
After Pakistan, before yesterday, Pakistan struck few so-called terrorist camps in Iran. After that, both foreign ministers discussed with each other, and Pakistan publicly said that it doesn't want to escalate the situation. It wants to diffuse the situation. Well, sir, please.
Thank you, sir.
Aniket,
Yes, sir.
which is the lowest level of judiciary in India? The judicial system lowest level?
On the civil side, it is Munsif Court, if I'm not wrong, if I'm able to collect it.
Even before that, even lower than that?
Chief Judicial Magistrate.
Lower than that. Chief is obviously higher than Munsif. Lower than that.
I'm sorry, sir. I cannot
Okay.
recall.
Your subject is public administration.
So,
See, these days, whether it is a politician or a private person or a government executive or officer, everybody wants power. But this public administration talks about delegation of powers. Delegation means give the power to others. Why should somebody give power to the others? Why should we delegate power?
sir, I believe that there are certain problems which require local solution. Not all the problems can be solved by a single authority. Usually, when power is concentrated, there is some chance of autocracy or maybe dictatorship. Or when this power is delegated, solutions come from grassroots level, and those solutions are more sustainable, and in the long term, they are for the welfare of everyone. So, delegation of power basically means making democracy reach the grassroots level. And that's why I believe delegation is an important aspect of governance.
Okay. I tell you the names of 5 professions. You have to tell me which is the most noble profession and why. The 5 professions are doctor, chartered accountant, lawyer, teacher, engineer. Which is the most noble profession? Doctor, lawyer, chartered accountant, teacher, engineer, and why?
So I believe there will be a clash between doctor and teacher for me. First of all, I believe teaching is the most noble profession because all other professions have a genesis in teaching only. It is a teacher who usually creates, whether it is a chartered accountant or even a doctor or a lawyer, there's always a teacher behind it. So teaching, I believe, is the most, and also it is the most ancient profession, wherein the medical profession or the doctor profession also was an offshoot of teaching initially, because if we look at the ancient history, usually the first reference is of teachers only, the gurukuls, where the teachers, there were gurus who used to teach, and they were also doctors. But in further periods, that two things got divided. So in the root of all these professions, I believe teaching is there because it creates all other profession, and then after that I would say doctor.
So still there is a doubt in your mind about teacher and doctor, or anything clear about it?
So I believe both are equally noble, sir.
Both are equally good. Okay. You said this is the oldest profession. Is it the oldest profession, teaching and doctor? Which is the oldest profession?
I believe that teaching is the oldest.
Any profession other than teaching?
Not that I recall.
Okay. See, I always get confused about this Dwivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi. What does it signify?
Sir, on a very practical meaning, Dwivedi, as most people understand, is the understander or knower of two, or one who knows two Vedas. But that is very superficial understanding of a word Dwivedi or maybe Trivedi. If we go into the actual meaning of Dwivedi, it usually means Dvi means two and Vedi means one who can see. So Dwivedi in actually means one who can one who has twofold vision. For example, one who is able to differentiate between good and bad, and based on that, he is able to take a decision. On a more deeper level, if we go, so Dwivedi was one who had Vedic knowledge, and based on that knowledge, he was able to differentiate between the good thing or the bad thing, and used to tell the society what is good or bad. That those people were called Dwivedis.
So what about Trivedi?
Trivedi?
I believe the same concept can be
Chaturvedi
extended.
can differentiate
Chaturvedi.
between 4 type of things.
So
The
these
three
are,
different names, no?
yes, sir.
You are Dwivedi, if I understand. Dwivedi. You cannot keep your name as Trivedi or Chaturvedi, no?
Yes, sir.
So there must be some difference, basic difference between the three.
So the practical information which people actually refer to is that a Dwivedi is a person who knows two Vedas.
Which two? Next question.
The
Which
initial
two?
two Vedas, but there is no any confirmation about it, and there is also no explanation that why Dwivedi should know only two Vedas or Trivedi should know only three Vedas. There is no explanation as well, sir.
Okay. Right.
There was earlier explanation was that before Dwivedi there was one Vedic. Vedic is the one who knows Rigved, the first one. Dwivedi, Yajurved. Trivedi, Samved. Chaturvedi, Atharvaved. And since Atharvaved, some people don't consider Atharvaved as Ved because there are Jadu, Tona and occult thing also there. So that's why in some areas they call Chaturvedis are lowest in the rank of Vedic, Dwivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi because they were practicing the lower type of Veda. But how far it is true, it is not known.
Aniket, as I see, you have done BSc B.Ed.
Yes, ma'am.
So, does it certify you as a TGT teacher there itself after you've completed the course, or you have given some entrance examination?
Yes, ma'am. I have to appear for CTET, which makes me eligible for TGT posts in various schools at secondary level.
Okay. And since you've appeared 5 times, God forbid, what have you thought of as a second career option for yourself?
This is my 5th attempt. I'll go for 6th also. Then maybe I have never looked into state services. If in case, I believe I'll get through this time only, but in case I do not go through, I'll look for state services, maybe of Bihar and UP. Afterward, I'll go for my higher education also, and then I'll look a career into teaching, maybe.
And you said teaching is the noblest profession. Why don't you want to pick it up at the first go?
Yes, ma'am. I believe teaching is one of the most important professions and most noblest. My parents are also teachers. My brother is also a teacher. I, by profession, by training, am also a teacher. But at the same time, I believe that by being a teacher, the number of lives which I can touch upon is limited. I can only teach students who come to my class or come to my school. Not in general everyone. According to one of the stats, there are 2 crore students who are out of the school right now. So if I get into services, I'll be able to make an impact at a larger scale. Maybe I'll be able to improve the infrastructure and other conditions of school at a larger level. Maybe I could bring at least even half of those students who are out of the school to
But
the
won't
school.
that be a superficial impact rather than being a teacher and connecting one-to-one to a student?
Of course, ma'am, but to me, I think bringing those who are not even in school is much more satisfying than just teaching 10 or 20 or 40 students in a class.
And how do you perceive that you would get them to school? Because somebody who is not turning up as on date in today's era, when things are very much open, everybody knows how important is being educated and all, and somebody is not turning up probably because of their status or whatsoever, how do you intend to bring them to school?
Ma'am, we need to go into the basic problem that why students or maybe children are not attending school.
What are those in your...
Yes, ma'am. If I talk about my home state, Bihar, the most basic reason is the lack of infrastructure in school. Only, according to one of the data, there are only 89% schools where there is electricity services. There are almost 13% school where there is no toilets or the washroom for a girl child. Teacher absenteeism is there. Teachers are not of that quality, although things have been improving over a period of last 10 years, but still there is case of teacher absenteeism. Quality of teachers, teaching methods, better classrooms, basic things such as benches, good blackboards. I believe if these conditions are improved, I think...
So basically, lack of infrastructure is what you foresee as the reason of children not turning up for studies to school.
Also, ma'am, there are reasons which are not exclusively related to the quality of education. The others could be the socio-economic condition of most of the parents. That should be improved by maybe livelihood or some kind of employment generation. If they get into employment, they have a fixed source of income. There will be less dependence on children to help them in their agriculture activities, and maybe then they will be able to send their children to school.
Okay. Now just throw some light, since you have studied in Rajasthan, and I'm talking more particularly about Kota. There are a lot of suicide cases. The pressure students are bearing on themselves and all. What do you believe is the prime reason? Why do they give up so early?
Ma'am, I think the reason for suicide is not only the fierce competition which is there, it is also the unending expectation of parents also. There's usually more pressure from parent side that just go to Kota and study and compete and get into one of the IITs or maybe medical schools.
But if they understand this side of their parents, don't they understand the other side, that none of the parent would ever want their child to take such a drastic step?
Obviously, ma'am, parents would never want their children to take such extreme steps.
What good can be done to reduce this, or for that matter just nullify it altogether?
Ma'am, as a matter of fact, yeah, only yesterday there was a regulation regarding the coaching institutions that children less than 16 years of age should not be sent to coachings, and I believe all such coaching centers who are teaching students of 10th or 11th or 12th standard will probably be closed. If children stay at home, if they are close to their parents and they only depend on school, then I believe the situation can improve, and it is a good step.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Aniket,
So,
uh, yesterday, Mr. Biden, the President of America, has said that maybe Netanyahu would agree to some kind of Palestinian state. Can you elaborate upon this?
I have very limited knowledge about the issue, but as far as I have read a news where I have read that Netanyahu said that there is no such commitment from my side that I'll allow an independent Palestine, and
At least you have the understanding of the issue between Palestinians and the people of Israel. Can you tell me that is there really a long-term solution that if Palestinian state is solved, there will be no conflict?
sir, if I believe that the global community need to sit down because it has been prolonged for last, I believe, 70 years, I think now, and there has not been any proper solution for that. So I believe that global communities need to sit down, all the stakeholders who are there, the Middle East countries, especially the Arabian nations, US, of course, the P5 nations, and of course Palestine and Israel need to sit down and have a very long-term solution in order to save their lives.
It is solvable or not?
I believe that it is solvable if there is
We
intention.
are
and
also
consensus.
facing the same problem on our borders for last 70 years. We have not been able to solve it fully.
So the reasons are different here. I believe our neighbors.
Whatever the reasons, if you want to solve the problem, you can solve the problem. But for that, you need to have both the parties coming to the table
Yes, sir,
and
obviously.
agreeing upon it.
Sir, obviously, sir, we need to sit down. In our case also, not talking is not the solution as far as my understanding is concerned. I believe that we should sit down.
We were always sitting down, but we were attacked. Now it is not like sitting down. They want us to kneel down. What about that?
No, sir, I am not in favor of that kneeling down. I believe that the Panchashila agreement, which was made by Jawaharlal Nehru regarding the respect of sovereignty, should be the foundation stone regarding the
That
foreign
agreement was
policy.
signed with China.
Yes, sir.
We are not talking about China. We are talking
Sir,
about
the same thing could be applied to Pakistan as well, sir. There should be mutual respect for sovereignty
Okay.
and territorial integrity.
See, we talk about democracy at the grassroots levels, decentralization, all those kind of things. They look good on paper. But in reality, do you think decentralization and democratization at the lower level is working for the welfare of the society or well-being of the people at large?
Yes, sir, there has been some issues with decentralization. Although we had a constitutional amendment wherein it was mandated that the power should be devolved to the third level, the
Is
local
it
level.
solving the basic issues or problems? Or is it leading to corruption, more corruption?
Sir,
Tell me the truth. No diplomatic answers.
Sir, up to a greatest extent, I believe that there has been some changes. There has been some good effort by various Panchayati Raj institutions. For example, if we talk about the example of Haryana and Kerala, they
There
have
will be
been
some
doing-
changes, positive or negative. I am asking you something else. The corruption is increasing or it is not increasing, it is handled well.
There are certain cases of corruption in lower level. This is basically because there is lack of surveillance, lack of enough.
And if we say this is public knowledge that there is a cut taken by everybody right from down to upstairs in all kind of schemes, would it be correct to say?
Yes, corruption has been one of the problems of our
And if you are the
administration.
district magistrate in any district, what will be your priority areas to handle corruption?
The first thing first, I believe that involvement of public is very important to stop this corruption. I believe every individual need to know what are his or her rights. Citizen charter, I believe, is one of the most important steps which has been taken by our government, wherein every citizen are informed that what are the public servants are expected from.
What if the citizens themselves are willing to have all the rights but not very careful about their duties?
Then in that case, sir, I believe that awareness will be a step forward.
Okay. Now, since you are from Gopalganj, Bihar, can you tell me what are the major problems or issues that are affecting Bihar, especially Gopalganj today?
Yes, sir, if I talk about Gopalganj, the most important, I would say the most The biggest problem I would say is the annual flooding due to the Gandak River. It flows on the northern side of Gopalganj, and it is an annual phenomena. It leads to a lot of destruction of life, property.
Any social problems?
On the social front, I believe that casteism is one thing. There's a very watertight compartmentalization of caste, and most of the democratic processes are based on that caste equations only. So that is
Okay, one last question I have for you. Since you are very much interested in ghazals, you talked about Jagdish Singh. With Gulzar, he has worked upon an album. Do you know the name?
not so. No, sir, I'm not able to recall.
Have you heard the name Marasim?
Sorry, sir.
Marasim.
No, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. Then you specifically mentioned Jagdish Singh, and now you're saying you do not know.
I actually listen to his songs.
Any other people who are known for ghazals?
Ghulam Ali, Pankaj Udas.
Pankaj Udas has sang a ghazal which compares the times, earlier times and modern times. Do you know about that ghazal? It's a beautiful ghazal. Very much appreciated. One of the best ghazals I think he has ever sung in his career.
If
Okay.
you can give me a hint.
वो गुजरा जमाना कुछ इस तरह से है. I don't think you will be able to reach that up because I'm not also very good at remembering the lyrics. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Fine.
then, Ankit.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.